ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयम् उदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्ति भवती नैष्टिकी। हरे कृष्ण। वी कंटिन्यू chapter 7, the son of Drona punished. Shloka from 43 to add. उवाच सः उवाच च असहन्ति अस्य
उवाच सः अन्ति अस्य
च असहन्ति अस्य
उवाच
असहन्ति
सः अन्ति अस्य
अस्य अस्य नहीं अस्य बंधना बंधन बंधन अनयनम सति
बंधन अयनं सतिः
मुच्यताम मुच्यताम एषः
मुच्यताम् एष
ब्राह्मण नितराम गुरुः
ब्राह्मणः नितरां गुरुः
सरस्यः धनुर्वेदः
स रहस्यः धनुर्वेदः
सविसर्ग उपसंयमः
स विसर्गः उपसंयमः
अश्रग्रामः च भवति
अस्त्रग्रामः च भवता
भवता शिक्षितः यत् अनुग्रहात्
शिक्षितः यत् अनुग्रहात्
सः एष भगवान् द्रोणः
स एष भगवान् द्रोणः
प्रजारूपेण वर्तते
प्रजारूपेण वर्तते
तस्य आत्मनः अर्थं पत्नी
तस्य अर्धं पत्नी अस्ति
आस्ते न अन्वगात विरसु कृपी
अस्तेन अन्वगात् विरसुः कुपी
कृपी तद्धर्मज्ञ महाभाग
तद्धर्मज्ञ महाभाग
भवद्भिः गौरवं कुलम्
भवद्भिः गौरवं कुलम्
रुजीन न अर्हति प्राप्तुम्
व्रजीनम् अर्हत प्राप्तुम्
पूज्यं वन्द्यम् अभिक्ष्णशः
पूज्यं वन्द्यम् अभिक्ष्णशः
उवाच च असहन्ति अस्य
उवाच च असहन्ति अस्य
बन्धन अनयनं सति
बन्धन आनयनं सति
मुच्यताम् एषः
मुच्यताम् एषः
ब्राह्मणः नितरां गुरुः
ब्राह्मणः नितरां गुरुः
सरस्यः धनुर्वेदः
सहरस्यः धनुर्वेदः
सविसर्ग उपसंयमः
सविसर्ग संयमः
अत्र ग्रामः च भवता
अस्त्रग्रामः च भवता
शिक्षितः यत् अनुग्रहात्
शिक्षितः यत् अनुग्रहात्
स एष भगवान् द्रोणः
स एष भगवान् द्रोणः
प्रजारूपेण वर्तते
प्रजारूपेण वर्तते
तस्य आत्मनः अर्धं पत्नी
तस्य आत्मनः अर्धं पत्नी
आस्तेन अन्वगात विरसुः कृपी
आस्तेन अन्वगात् विरसुः कृपी
तद्धर्मज्ञ
महाभाग भवद्भिः
भवद्भिः गौरवं कुलम्
भवद्भिः गौरवं कुलम्
रुजिन न हर्रति प्राप्तुम
वृजिनं न अर्हति प्राप्तुम्
पूज्यम वन्द्यम अभिक्ष्णशः।
पूज्यं वन्द्यम् अभिक्ष्णशः।
उवाच च असहन्ति अस्य बन्धन न अनयनं सति मुच्यताम् एषः ब्राह्मणः नितरां गुरुः सहरस्य धनुर्वेदः स विसर्ग उपसंयमः अश्रग्राम च भवता शिक्षितः यत् अनुग्रहात् स एष भगवान् द्रोणः प्रजारूपेण वर्तते तस्य आत्मनः अर्धं पत्नी आस्तेन अन्वगात् विरसु कृपी तद्धर्मज्ञ महाभाग भवद्भिः गौरवं कुलं रुजिनं न अर्हति प्राप्तुं पूज्यं वन्दयम् अभिक्ष्णशः। हरे कृष्णा। प्लीज
उवाच
रीड प्रभुजी।
उवाच च असहन्ति अस्य बन्धनान् नयनं सति मुच्यताम् एषः ब्राह्मणः नितरां गुरुः स रहस्यः धनुर्वेदः स विसर्गः उपसंयमः अस्त्रग्रामः च भवता शिक्षितः यत् अनुग्रहात् स एष भगवान् द्रोणः प्रजारूपेण वर्तते तस्य आत्मनः अर्धं पत्नी आस्ते न अन्वगात् विरसु कृपी तद्धर्मज्ञ महाभाग भवद्भिः गौरवं कुलं रुजिनं न अर्हति प्राप्तुं पूज्यं वन्द्यम् अभिक्ष्णशः। श्रीधर
एनीवन कैन रीड?
हरे कृष्ण। उवाच
प्लीज
स असहन्ति अस्य बन्धनायां सति मुच्यतां येष ब्रह्मणो नितरं गुरु स रगस्य धनुर्वेद सविसर्गोपस्यमः हस्तरग्रामश्च भवतो शिक्षितो यत् अनुग्रहात् स एष भगवान् द्रोण प्रजारूपेण वर्तते तस्यात्मनोर्धं पत्नी आस्तो न वेदवात् वीरसु कृपी तद्धर्मज्ञ महाभागो भवद्भिः गौरवं कुलं वृजीनं नर्हति प्राप्तुं पूज्यं वन्द्यम् अभिक्षस। हरे कृष्ण।
पूनम माताजी प्लीज रीड।
हरे कृष्ण माताजी।
हरे कृष्ण।
उवाच च सहन्ति अस्य बन्धना अनन्यं सति मुच्यताम् एषा ब्राह्मणो नितरां गुरुः सरहस्यो धनुर्वेदा सविसर्गो उपसंयम अस्त्रग्रामश्च भवता शिक्षिको यद अनुग्रहात् स एष भगवान् द्रोणः प्रजारूपेण वर्तते तस्य आत्म अर्धं पत्नी अस्ते अन्वगाद वीरशु कृपीः तद धर्मज्ञ महाभाग भगवद्भिर्गौरवं कुलं व्रजिनं न हर्ति प्राप्तुं पूज्यं वन्दयम् अभीक्षण।
हरे कृष्णा। एनीवन माताजी want to read? Translation and purport by the Srila Prabhupada. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Can read Mataji? Gaurangi Mataji? She could not tolerate Aśvatthāmā's being bound by ropes, and being a devoted lady, she said, release him, for he is a brāhmaṇa, our spiritual master. It was by Droṇācārya's mercy that you learned the military art of throwing arrows and the confidential art of controlling weapons. He, Droṇācārya, is certainly still existing being represented by his son. His wife Kṛpī did not undergo a satī with him because she had a son. Oh, most fortunate one who know the principles of religion, family members who are always respectable and worshipful. purport by the Srila Prabhupada, Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. As soon as Aśvatthāmā was brought before Draupadi, she thought it intolerable that a brāhmaṇa should be arrested like a culprit and brought before her in that condition. Especially when the brāhmaṇa happened to be a teacher's son. Arjuna arrested Aśvatthāmā knowing perfectly well that he was the son of Droṇācārya. Krishna also knew him to be so, but both of them condemned the murderer without consideration of his being the son of brāhmaṇa. According to revealed scripture, a teacher or spiritual master is liable to be rejected if he proves himself unworthy of the position of a guru or spiritual master. A guru is called also an acharya, or a person who has personally assimilated all the essence of Shastras and has helped his disciples to adopt the ways. Aśvatthāmā failed to discharge the duties of a brāhmaṇa or a teacher, and therefore he was liable to be rejected from the exalted position of a brāhmaṇa. On this consideration, both Lord Krishna and Arjuna were right in condemning Aśvatthāmā. But to a good lady of Draupadi, the master was considered not from the angle of Shastric vision, but as a matter of custom. By custom, Aśvatthāmā was offered the same respect as offered to his father. It was so because generally the people accepted the son of brāhmaṇa as a real brāhmaṇa by sentiment only. Actually, the matter of different. A brāhmaṇa is accepted on the merit of qualification and not on the merit of simply being the son of brāhmaṇa. In spite of all this, Draupadi desired that Aśvatthāmā be at once released, and it was all the same a good sentiment for her. This means that a devotee of the Lord can tolerate all sorts of tribulation personally, but still such devotees are never unkind to others, even to the enemy. These are the characteristics of one who is a pure devotee of the Lord. Dhanu Veda or military science was taught by Droṇācārya with all its confidential secrets of throwing and controlling by Vedic hymns. Gross military science is depend on material weapon, but finer than that is the art of throwing and the arrows saturated with the Vedic hymns, which act more effectively than gross material weapon like machine guns or atomic bomb. The control is by Vedic mantras or the transcendental science of sound. It is said in the Ramayana, the Maharaj Daśratha, the father of Lord Sri Rama, used to control arrows by sound only. He could pierce his target with his arrow by only hearing the sound without seeing the object. So this is a finer military science than that of the gross material military weapons used nowadays. Arjuna was taught all these, and therefore Draupadi wished that Arjuna feel obliged to Acharya Drona for all these benefits. And in the absence of Droṇācārya, his son was his representative. That was the opinion of the good lady Draupadi. It may be argued why Droṇācārya, a rigid brāhmaṇa, should be a teacher in military science. But the reply is that a brāhmaṇa should become a teacher regardless of what his department of knowledge is. A learned brāhmaṇa should become a teacher, a priest, and a recipient of charity. A bona fide brāhmaṇa is authorized to accept such profession. Om Jnanatimirandasya. Sorry. The wife of Droṇācārya, Kṛpī, in the sister of Kṛpācārya, a devoted wife who is, according to revealed scripture, the better half of her husband, is justified in embracing voluntary death along with her husband if she is without issue. But in the case of the wife of Droṇācārya, she did not undergo such a trial because she had her son. the representative of her husband. A widow is a widow only in name if there is a son of her husband existing. So in the in either case, Aśvatthāmā was the representative of Droṇācārya, and therefore killing Aśvatthāmā would be like killing Droṇācārya. That is the argument of Draupadi against the killing of Aśvatthāmā. The slight insult for a respectable family insufficient to invoke grief. Therefore, a cultured man should always be careful in dealing with worshipful family members. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Ena Tasmai Sri Gurave Nama Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Ena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavancha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanvitancha Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyata Deshatarine Vancha Kalpatarubecha Krupa Sindhube Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Nama Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. We try to understand these 4 shlokas from when Aśvatthāmā binding with ropes came before the Draupadi. What his thought, though his thought are describing in these shlokas, Prabhuji will tell us in detail. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Mataji. So we are seeing how Vama Svabhavaha, because of the meek good nature which Draupadi was having, she thought that binding a brāhmaṇa putra is not appropriate. So she was not able to tolerate him being bound, and that too being treated as an animal, because she was a devoted lady. So she immediately said, release him, he is a brāhmana, he is a son of a spiritual master. Now look at Droṇācārya. Droṇācārya has actually taught all the Pandavas, and Arjuna had learned the art of Dhanur Vidya, that is arrows, and the confidential art of controlling weapons. And Droṇācārya, according to Draupadi, was free because he was being represented by his son, and his wife had not undergone satī because she had a son. So it was appropriate that no further grief should come to the glorious family members who are always respectable and worshipful. Just look at kindness, genuineness of Draupadi. It was intolerable for her that brāhmaṇa could be arrested like a culprit and brought before her in that condition. And that too, if the brāhmaṇa was the son of a teacher, then she thought that it is absolutely a relief. But if you go into the scriptures, a spiritual master or a guru is a very important position. The scriptures say that a teacher or a spiritual master, if he is not able to prove himself worthy, if he is seen to be unworthy of the position of a guru, then he has to be rejected. Now we also know guru is sometimes called as Acharya, Acharayati iti Acharya, one who is actually implementing, following, Acharati. So if a person who has personally assimilated the essence of the Shastras and also help the disciple to adopt the same ways, then he can become a Acharya. Aśvatthāmā was taught by Droṇācārya. So all the Brahminical knowledge was given to him by Droṇācārya. But then he failed to discharge the duties of brāhmaṇa as well as a teacher. And so he was, as per this Shastric injunction, suitable to be rejected from the exalted position of Brahman. And so, with this consideration, whatever Arjuna was doing, what Lord Krishna had advised was right. Aśvatthāmā was good enough to be condemned. But then, Draupadi was someone who was always by custom ready to offer respect, even to the Aśvatthāmā, just like they used to offer to his father. Because generally, people accept that the son of a brāhmaṇa would be a brāhmaṇa. So it is sentimental. But factually, it is not so. Factually, someone can be accepted as brāhmaṇa only on the merit of qualification, not on the basis of birth in a particular family. So, what Draupadi is indirectly telling when she is ready to offer respect to Aśvatthāmā is not that she is treating him as brāhmaṇa, but treating him as son of the teacher. So just like Droṇācārya was respected, similarly his son also should be respected. So here we are seeing a very important quality, tolerance. Yesterday we were talking about Trinadapi Sunichena. So yesterday we saw about how we have to be humble. Today, Draupadi ji is trying to teach us about tolerance. So a devotee of Lord can tolerate all sorts of tribulations personally, but can never be unkind to others, even to anyone. So pure devotee has always become Taroha api Sahishnuna. And then we follow the further two things. Amanina manadenaha kirtaniha sadahari. When we are kirtaniha sadahari, we already develop humility, and then we also develop tolerance, and then we are not longing for any kind of respect. Draupadi is teaching us these important characteristics in these particular shlokas. Droṇācārya was himself very, very respectful because the confidential secret knowledge of how to control the weapons by Vedic hymns, that was taught by him to Arjuna. The gross military science we see nowadays is all material weapons. But even finer than that is something which is with Vedic hymns, which are more effective than gross material weapons. So we may find atomic bombs, machine guns, or say the bombs being put down by Israel on Hezbollah or some other enemies currently. But even beyond that would be the weapons which are controlled by Vedic mantras, the transcendental science of sound. Now, there's a very good example of how sound and weapons work. So Darshat Maharaj, he was having that capacity that he could pierce any object on the basis of the sound. So he had that knowledge, but then unfortunately he made a mistake on the basis of same thing. wherein he killed Shaman Putra, who was taking his old parents on a pilgrimage, and then he had to suffer the what I'll say a sharp which was given to him by the old parents that he will also die in separation from his son, and that is exactly what happened. But then that was an art of knowing the sound and using the weapons. Arjuna was also taught all these things. And so Arjuna should be obliged to Acharya Droṇa. And in the absence of Droṇa, his son was his representative, so he should be obliged through Aśvatthāmā. So generally, a brāhmaṇa is only talking about Brahmam Janati iti brāhmaṇa, someone who is teaching about the eternal truth. But then it is mentioned in the Shastras that they can become teacher regardless of what department of knowledge they carry. In fact, it is said that they should become teacher, priest, recipient of charity, and continue serving the society. And here, because Droṇācārya was done this, even Aśvatthāmā was supposed to be doing it. And Aśvatthāmā was representing Droṇācārya. Because after Droṇācārya's death, Kṛpī, who was Droṇācārya's wife and sister of Kṛpācārya, she had not gone satī. Otherwise, it is said that on the death of the husband, there is voluntary embracing of the pyre, funeral pyre, by the devoted wife. So, because she had a son, she could be allowed to not undergo satī, and so she was there. And if Aśvatthāmā was disrespected, punished, then it would result in grief for the mother. So a cultured man should always be careful in dealing with worshipful family members, is what is being taught to us. So these are very important learnings that we have from this shloka today, of how we have to be tolerant, of how we have to respect our guru, how we have to treat all the members of everyone equally, respectfully, how we have to ensure that we do not get disturbed by anything, and always are busy in kirtanam, kirtaniya sadahari. Because only when we are continuously chanting, remembering Krishna, there is a possibility that we may get that realization of our eternal relationship with Krishna, and accordingly serve Krishna perpetually in Golok Vrindavan. Hare Krishna.